I'm here with Chris Como, one of the top golf coaches in the world. You've helped guys like Tiger, DeChambeau, Jason Day, and a bunch of others. And we're gonna try and fix my swing today, dude.
Yep.
Are you optimistic?
Very.
So what was it like working with Tiger? You know, like what was he struggling with at the time?
Yeah, he was just trying to build his swing in a way that could be done with his body and the form it was, which is, you know, he had a bunch of injuries at that point, multiple surgeries. So he was just trying to build a swing where he could play more or less not in pain. But we had talked about this in 2000. To me, that's the best anybody's ever swung a golf club. So really the model we were using was his swing in 2000, but in a way that his body could currently handle at that time.
Right.
Yeah. But one of the things, like even for you or anybody else who's working on their game, he was so good at, like when he was making changes, not being worried about where the ball was going. He was committed to the changes. He was much more in connection to what his body was doing and saying, okay, whatever it is I'm setting out to do, like in terms of my swing, I'm gonna do that. But what the ball's doing as like a second of importance. Really great at that, and he's probably one of the best people at making changes in his golf swing. So that's important, is to be able to let go of that outcome, at least in the short run, if you are trying to make pretty big changes to your swing. You ready? Don't hit the shoe.
Don't hit the shoe. Is that the right?
That's great. That part's great.
Okay. So how did you become a golf coach for guys like Tiger and DeChambeau and Jason Day?
I mean, I kind of always knew I wanted to be a top golf coach, and early in my career, I traveled the country, worked for a bunch of different academies with what guys at that time were considered the best coaches, and then eventually went to grad school for biomechanics, did some research, that got traction in the teaching and the playing world, started to work with some better players, you know, all these things start to kind of add together, and then eventually you get your opportunity just through word of mouth or whatever with some of the better players out there, and that's how you sort of develop that relationship and just kind of run with it.
Oh no, shanked.
It's okay. And this is the thing, when you're learning something, you got to be okay with,
Yeah.
right? But that, like as a general philosophy with people working on their game, you got to be okay with hitting some of those bad shots.
Yeah. I mean, we're not working on driver today, but you coached Bryson DeChambeau, who's like hits it further than anyone else on tour. Well, he's not on tour anymore, but
A tour.
A tour that's paying him way more money. But nonetheless, like with a guy like him, what are his goals? What is he just trying to hit it further and further? Is that he's just trying to maximize speed or what?
No, I mean, he's trying to be the best player in the world. He's extremely competitive, works really hard at the game, and you know, at that point when he made those changes to get more clubhead speed, he knew that being able to drive it farther would be a way for him to get an extra edge in the game. But he doesn't look at it just through that lens. He's just trying to...
Yeah, his thing wasn't just, hey, I need to drive it further for like vanity.
No.
It's like, no, this is gonna help me become the best.
Right, and we had talked about Mark Brody, and some of his stats show the importance of driving, and a big part of being a good driver is hitting it far.
Yeah.
So it's just a place he felt like he could potentially get an edge. But at the end of the day, his goal is to be the best player in the world, and everything else is a means to that end. And he's just as focused on being able to control the ball as good as anybody ever as he is as hitting it farther. Let's switch it with a driver. You obviously that's your best weapon when it's on, and also
When it's on, big point.
Well, it's probably both your best weapon and also your Achilles heel when it's off, right? Because you're taking
Right.
some of those penalty shots off the tee. So
Yeah. All right,
let's see what that
I'll
one
crank
looks
a
like.
couple. Little fade.
man, you do that, it's like, I mean, that's the thing, right? If you were to do that all the time, like you wouldn't change anything.
No.
And that's what gets people, right? Because they're like, oh, why just do that consistently? And it's like, yeah, in theory.
My first swing was like that every day at the thing, we'd be good. By the way, I need TaylorMade to sponsor me. TaylorMade, Titleist, Mura, Ping, whoever wants to sponsor me.
Ping.
I'm down. I'll film YouTube videos for you guys.
We're a Ping family over here.
We're Ping.
We're gonna get Ping to be on this.
Ping, I'm open to it. You know, you want me to take over your YouTube channel? We'll create some good content.
Nice.
Get the camera there. 349. Let's look. 177.
That ball speed would have been 180 with a Ping.
But there we go. When I'm on, the driver's good. They say that the best business deals are done on the golf course, and I couldn't agree more. In fact, my very first private lender that helped me propel my real estate investing business happened during a round of golf. And at the time, I didn't even play golf. Wasn't something I was interested in. But now, I've realized the power of golf is tremendous for building relationships. So I actually started a program called Golf with Ryan where people could golf with me and spend 5 hours having fun, getting consultation, eating lunch, and spending time at one of the premier country clubs here in Vegas. And through those conversations, people have scaled their businesses. I've even joint ventured and partnered with some of the people that have golfed with me, and it's become one of my favorite things to do. So if you want more info on that, click the link below and we'll schedule something today. All right, Chris, based on what you've seen, what do you think?
You move well. Obviously, you have a background in sports, good athlete, you've played a lot of baseball. So I think you move pretty dynamically. You got to learn how to work the face a little bit different. Otherwise, I feel like the ceiling of how good you can get is going to be lower than what your goals are actually at.
So how good could I get? That's the question.
That's a hard thing, because to go from, say, a 15 handicap to a 10 handicap is much easier than to go from a 10 handicap to a 5 handicap.
Right.
Which is much easier to go from a 5 handicap to a scratch golfer.
Right.
Which is way easier than going from a scratch golfer to a +5.
So if somebody is just getting started, what's your biggest tip for them?
I think you got to partner with a coach. I mean, this game is crazy nuanced. I don't know if complex is the right word, but there's a lot of things to it. I mean, you've experienced it, the type of progress you can make with a coach. So I would find a good coach. There's lots of great coaches out there. I partner with a company called Golf Live that has some great coaches that do remote coaching.
Yeah, we'll link to them down below.
Yep. On my Instagram, Chris Como Golf.
Yep.
I got a team of coaches that I've trained, an academy in Dallas.
Nice.
You can reach out for that. So, obviously the coaches that I feel like I've helped develop, I think they're great. But there are a lot of great coaches all over the country. So the primary thing is find someone that you can get a good rapport with.
Yeah, like what's the point of practicing the wrong thing?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you're
building bad habits.
For sure. And the thing is this, are there people who have developed great games without a coach? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if that's the path you're on, cool. But if you're like hitting a wall, okay, and let's say you're not like one.
Or you want to accelerate.
Yeah, exactly. For the most part, not in every case, for the most part, having a coach on your team to help you on this journey is a big benefit.
If somebody wants to get to like a 10 handicap or a 15 handicap, which is like, you're playing well, for a normal person. How often do you think they need to practice?
But if you can get out there at least a couple times a week, even if it's for short sessions, you got to be on top of it and have that sort of consistent practice, I think, to make big progress in your game. That can also look like doing stuff at home, though. This is where having a coach, and they're giving you exercises that you can do at home to build your golf swing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hitting foam balls in the backyard, or whatever.
You don't need all this.
No, but you could have like a net in the backyard or someplace.
That's what I had at my old house.
Yeah.
I just had a net. I was trying to just get consistent.
I mean, if you have a net.
I bought this like little thing. It's called a Rapsodo for like $400.
Yeah.
And it was like really good.
A net, tripod with your camera, with your phone.
Yep.
And you know what you're working on. If you know what you need to look for, you don't need to know everything about the golf swing, but if you know what you need to look for in your swing, you can make massive progress just hitting balls into a net.
All right, Chris, I definitely know what I need to work on now, and I'm excited for the progress I'm gonna make because I've never been able to get that shaft lean, so it's gonna be good. But we actually did a podcast that you guys need to watch, so we're gonna link to it right here on the video, and you can watch the full in-depth interview of how he became who he is today.
That was fun. Thanks, man.
Yeah.